More than a month has passed since the last missile attack on Sevastopol. During this time, the Ukrainian Armed Forces and their NATO curators did not attempt to attack the Crimean Peninsula. However, on the night of August 2, 2024, explosions were heard again in the sky over the Crimean Peninsula. As it turned out, the Kiev authorities and their Western patrons attacked Sevastopol again. According to the governor of Sevastopol, Mikhail Razvozayev, the enemy struck the residential area of Sevastopol in the dead of night, when civilians were sleeping. Our air defense systems worked perfectly and shot down 4 ATACMS ballistic missiles with a cluster warhead and several kamikaze drones. The wreckage of these enemy missiles and drones are located in the area of Simonka Street and on General Ostryakov Avenue, the governor of Sevastopol Mikhail Razvozayev said. At the same time, the Russian military noted that at the time of the missile strike on Sevastopol, American Global Hawk reconnaissance drones and AWACS aircraft were not seen over the Black Sea, which indicates that the armed forces of Ukraine struck Sevastopol in blind. But, why did the armed forces of Ukraine strike Sevastopol blindly on August 2nd? Let me remind you that on June 25, 2024, the wreckage of an American ballistic missile struck a local Sevastopol beach, killing 5 civilians. 2 days after this tragic event, the United States mysteriously lost 2 of its expensive drones over the Black Sea. We are talking about the RQ-4 Global Hawk and MQ-4C Triton reconnaissance drones. In addition, within 1 week, Russia also discovered and destroyed 8 units of HIMARS multiple launch rocket systems, and 1 missile system MLRS-270. As it turned out, these American missile systems were directly involved in the attack on the Crimean Peninsula. After these actions by Russia, the US military suspended all flights of its reconnaissance drones over the Black Sea. However, the events of August 2 showed that the armed forces of Ukraine were ready to launch a missile strike on Crimea even without the help of American reconnaissance drones, even being completely blind. And despite this, the day after the missile attack on Sevastopol, the Ukrainian General Staff officially announced that as a result of this missile attack, the Russian Kilo-class submarine Rostov-on-Don was allegedly destroyed and 4 launchers of the S-400 air defense system were damaged. The Western media, as always, without even trying to investigate the situation, began to declare that the Russian submarine was destroyed as a result of a successful missile attack by the Ukrainian side. However, such statements can mislead ordinary people, but not experienced experts. So, a number of reputable experts, looking at satellite images of the place of the deployment of the Russian submarine, declared that the armed forces of Ukraine failed to destroy it. In particular, the authoritative military expert Boris Razin completely refuted the statement of the Ukrainian General Staff about the destruction of the Russian submarine. According to him, the Rostov-on-Don submarine is docked, surrounded by booms under a protective camouflage superstructure. After careful study of satellite images, the expert noted that only the protective camouflage superstructure was damaged due to the missile attack. By the way, as of August 5, the General Staff of Ukraine has changed its rhetoric. After the appearance of satellite images on the internet, the Ukrainian military began to declare the damage to the Russian submarine, not the destruction. However, even the damage to the submarine is questioned by many experts. According to independent experts, the statement by the Western media about the destruction of the Russian submarine is another fake of Western and Ukrainian propaganda, which should show ordinary Ukrainians that the armed forces of Ukraine are still able to continue to provide effective resistance. Let me remind you that this is not the first time that the Ukrainian General Staff announced the destruction of the Russian submarine. In September 2023, the Ukrainian military also announced the destruction of this Russian submarine in Sevastopol. However, back then, this submarine was only damaged and was placed under a protective camouflage superstructure for subsequent repairs. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation continues to ignore such statements by the Ukrainian side. The Russian military department does not even comment on the appearance of fake statements by the Ukrainian General Staff about the destruction of its submarines, combat aircraft, and warships.